Welcome back. Fire season is officially here in both Jackson and Josephine counties, and with that comes a few more ways we need to be prepared to enjoy outdoor activities. Joining us this morning, the one, the only Natalie Weber here this morning, the Public Information Officer for the Oregon Department of Forestry. Natalie, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Now, obviously, fires can happen any time of the year, but what's different now that we're officially in the start of fire season?
So fire season is a declared amount of time that really just signals a heightened, increased risk of fire starting and spreading just much more easily. And with that, for the Oregon Department of Forestry is tied to bringing on our seasonal staff. So with that declaration, we bring on 150 seasonal firefighters, dispatchers, detection specialists that are here to respond to those fires and keep our communities safe.
Very nice. And obviously it's summer, so what role does the temperature, does the weather play into fire season?
Yeah, the weather is really that deciding factor when we're going into fire season. Just because the Rogue Valley is very naturally fire prone between the topography, the types of vegetation we have, and then you bring in that warm climate, really that's a perfect environment for fire to thrive. And so when we have that onset of warmer temperatures, we start seeing those fires more easily escape.
What would you say are the most common causes of fires?
This time of year, once we enter fire season, we actually see a lot of escaped debris burns, unfortunately, and those are illegal at this point. But there are lots of different fire causes. Some have been as obscure as someone weed whacking and hitting a rock, which hit a metal fence, which created a spark, started a fire in dry grass. So there's lots of really different things that can start a fire. I just like to tell people, if you're doing something that is going to create heat, friction, or a potential spark near vegetation, you have that potential to start a fire. Definitely.
What are some of the not so common causes a fire can start and that you've gotten reports of?
You know, a lot of people think that smoking and cigarettes start a lot of fires, but actually I think last year there were only 3 of them out of over 200 that we responded to. Things that start fires a lot more commonly really are vehicles, whether that is from the catalytic converter shooting out hot pieces of metal or sparks, or even parking a hot car over dry grass can actually start a fire.
Absolutely. How is fire season different from the rest of the year for local firefighting agencies, if anything?
You know, fire season is where it's really all hands on deck and we're just ready to respond to fires. The rest of the time we're trying to catch up on our office work and keep our agencies up to the work that we need to be doing. But fire season, that's our first priority, is to be able to respond to fires. And so it's a little bit more fluid when it comes to our daily business because we get interrupted quite often. But obviously responding to fires is going to be the first and most important thing that we do this season.
Speaking of all hands on deck, how would you describe the relationship between all the different fire agencies?
All the local fire agencies work really well together, from the very local city fire departments up to our federal partners. And it really is because this area is so fire prone, and we see each other at the same incidents over and over throughout the summer. We actually get together every month outside of fire season to just keep up on what's going on and share information. And really that partnership is what makes us so successful here locally, is because everyone comes together for that common mission of protecting our communities.
Absolutely. Anything else you want to share with us this morning?
You know, really the most important thing that people need to know is to follow the regulations. A lot of people want to know what causes fires and you know, how to stop them. It really comes back to those regulations. They're tied to the things that most commonly start fires that we see. And so the real easy button is to just make sure you're following the regulations for the area that you live in. You can find that on ODF's website on oregon.gov/ODF, and that is what's going to help us be successful this season.
Natalie, thank you so much for being with us this morning.
Thank
you
you for having me.
As Natalie mentioned, fire season in Jackson and Josephine counties officially began on June 1st. And here's a look at some of the ODF restrictions in place that will help keep Oregon green. For a full list of restrictions and for more general information about fire season in Southern Oregon, visit the website at the bottom of your screen. That's swofire.com. Natalie, once again, we appreciate you being here.
Thank you very much.
We'll be right back.